Richard Cory was a really interesting piece, very exemplary of postmodernist feelings of isolation. Whereas in the last unit I spoke about how postmodernism was about finding freedom in isolation, standing on one's own, Richard Cory shows how isolation and person of self really doesn't matter. Everything that Richard Cory had didn't matter. And so it kind of exemplified the postmodernist feel of man standing on his own and the world not supporting him. Let's look at Richard Cory. It was written initially by Edwin Arlington Robinson as a narrative poem. Now, narrative means it tells a story, right? The narrative poems that we are used to seeing are epics. Richard Cory is very short, so it's not an epic by any stretch of the imagination. It was first published in 1897 as part of Robinson's The Children of the Night, and it remains one of Robinson's most popular and anthologized poems. The poem describes a person who is wealthy, well-educated, and mannerly, and admired by the people in his town. And yet, despite all of this, he fatally shoots himself in the head. It really talks to the postmodernist idea of standing on your own and man's own mortality. Let's read it in full. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from sole to crown, clean-favored and imperially slim. He was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning," and he glittered when he walked. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything, to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked, and waited for the light, and went without the meat, and cursed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and pulled a bullet through his head. There's two things I want to point out for you in this piece. When the writer says, "We thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place," it talks about the idea of how what people assumed wasn't real. After 2 world wars, we not only doubted ourselves, we doubted our morality. And we decided that the things that seemed, the things that appeared, were not really real. And so, as they looked at Richard Cory, they wanted to be like him because they thought he was everything. You see how perception is different from knowing. They thought he was everything to make them wish that they were in his place. And so they worked and waited for the light, which is representing all of the good things that Richard Cory had. They went without the meat, they sacrificed and cursed the bread that they had. So they're thinking they can work and live and they eventually will get the success that Richard Cory has because he must be so happy because he has everything and everyone likes him. So why not have a happy ending for Richard Cory? Because nothing is as it seems. Because just as the world didn't seem like a safe place anymore, even Richard Cory didn't feel like he was in a safe place anymore. No matter what it appeared to other people, he did make the choice to stay in complete isolation and kill himself. This is a tragic poem, but an important one to represent the feelings of the postmodernist isolation. Very important for you to remember it. Richard Cory will most likely be on the exam.